Welcome to CyberCEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. CyberCEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome day, another awesome episode of CyberCEO. Again, my name is Jello. I am your host, and today we are very lucky to have another CyberCEO on the show. Tisha, how are you doing today?
Hey, Jello, great to meet you.
Yes, great to finally meet you. So, Tisha, just for the benefit of all of our listeners, of course, can you tell us something about yourself, please?
Sure, my name is Tisha Mitchell Curry, and I am a team leader in
Mhm.
Metro Atlanta, Douglasville, Georgia, to be exact. I have been a licensed agent since 2005. I'm a licensed broker, and I have just this year started growing my own team.
Wow, that's very exciting. Just starting to grow the team. Now, next question. How long have you been working with your cyberbacker, Neil?
So my cyberbacker Neil, I hired him in December and
Mhm.
he officially started in January. So in December, he was doing some
Mhm.
training through Cyberbacker, but we kind of got rolling the first week in January of
First
2021.
first week of January. Now, let me ask, how has the experience been so far?
Oh my gosh, it has been a blessing and a curse. And the reason why I say that is having a cyberbacker really has, one, held me accountable.
Mhm.
It has helped me set some standards. And it's also having someone dependent on me or relying
Mhm.
on me has helped me understand where my weaknesses are and help me realize where I needed to create some systems.
Yes, of course. You while you're growing, you need to check on those systems that you have to, of course, create and the weaknesses that you have and get improvements, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, let me ask you, it's only been, let's say, since January up until now, it's been maybe let's say half a year, right?
Mhm,
What
mhm.
makes this type of partnership successful? Because this isn't the typical relationship that we usually have, like an assistant right there with you in the same office or in the same building, right? What makes this successful?
If I had to be honest with you,
Hmm.
my cyberbacker's attitude has made it wonderful. And we check in twice a day, once in the morning
Hmm.
and once in the afternoon, after my lead generation time. And there's something about when he says, "Good morning, Tisha." And it's so amazing because he brightens my day. And we're able to kind of chat back and forth and we're able to work out our challenges. But more than anything, he's like a ray of sunshine every day.
I think that's important, creating that relationship with your, of course, business partners, well, in Neil, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, how much time has Neil saved you ever since he started last January?
Oh my goodness. I remember being in the interview, and
Mhm.
one of the questions that my coach asked was, as my cyberbacker, how are you going to protect my front end and my back end? And what's been wonderful about him is I kind of say, this is what I want.
Mhm.
And I say, these are the tools that we have. Can we figure out how to make these tools work so we can go from A to B? So everything administratively, while before I was paying people on a transactional basis, so someone to do my listing entry, someone to do my contract to close.
Mhm.
But what's beautiful about my cyberbacker now is that he has taken ownership to making sure our database is right, making sure our follow-ups are right. We started off very early on creating systems, making sure our listing presentation was right, our buyer presentation was right, making sure our calendar system was right. We set up a social media
Mhm.
marketing campaign. So we were building infrastructure from the very beginning, and I started slowly because I knew I might have some challenges with my
Mhm.
own discipline and even being able to train him. The tools that Keller Williams has provided for me, such as the 30, 60, 90, which was our outline of the
Mhm.
things that we needed to learn in the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And also using the 411 tool so that weekly we're like, okay, these are our goals and these are on task. But what was wonderful today is we were getting prepared. I was getting prepared for a listing appointment in a neighborhood that I farm. And I set the appointment up, and my cyberbacker went in, and we've got some systems in place for learning how to do a market analysis and putting things in place and ordering the deeds. So he's now trained to know, okay, I have an appointment this afternoon. I just got the call yesterday. These are the things we need to put in place in order for me to successfully get to that appointment. And while I was here today, getting ready for that appointment, leaving out the door, I got a phone call from another family in that same neighborhood asking me to come by. So I was able to say to him, okay, now I need you to pull that same data for the house that's down the street. And he was able to do that for me. So I'm starting to relax a little bit, and I'm comfortable that he's comfortable enough in what he's doing, and that our systems we're tweaking them, right? But our systems are in place that he makes me look like a rock star. And I love that.
Wow. I know that, of course, him making you look like a rock star is really a lot, right? Now, you've already touched base on a few of the tasks that your cyberbacker is currently doing for you. Now, for the benefit of everyone who's watching and listening, can you tell us more of what your cyberbacker is doing for you and your business?
Oh, absolutely. So we are doing farming of a couple of neighborhoods. And so each month he and I, decide what is going to be our marketing material for the month. He does our coming soon marketing, just listed marketing, just closed marketing. He handles the contract to close. He handles the listing entry. We just started today talking about now that I have listing appointments coming up, now he can circle back and call them to follow through with our pre-qualification process. What happens is now my clients now realize that I'm a team. It's not just me. And even if I can't get to them, he's on the back end making sure that we're covered. And so it makes me want to do more lead generation. It makes me want to take more listings, because I know with the two of us, we can get the customer service covered.
Of course. Now, kind of role, since you've been with your cyberbacker for half a year now, this kind of role could change, let's say in the next weeks, next month, probably in the next year. What are some of the things that you're considering having your cyberbacker do for you and your team in the future?
So we're actually going to start a Facebook marketing campaign. So
Wow.
before we were just kind of posting and making sure. It's interesting because the first task I gave him was to build out my Facebook friends list. And within maybe 45 days, we had gone from maybe 1,200 Facebook friends to 5,000. So we got that covered. And then we started a particular, and we started each of our social medias campaigns separate. So we started with Facebook, then we went to Instagram. Now we're going to LinkedIn. And then from LinkedIn, now we're going to Facebook ads, and we are, it's just been amazing that we have been building. Oh, one of the things that he is doing really well is we built out a neighborhood Facebook page, so a local Facebook page, and he is fantastic at doing nextdoor.com. And so we're getting a lot of responses from just our integration on social media. And yesterday, we got our first Facebook lead from a post.
Wow,
And
that's
it was,
exciting.
hey, we want to work with you. We saw your post. We started following you on Facebook, and we decided we don't want to work with anybody other than you. There's no way I could have handled that without him.
That's exciting. Of course, another way for you to be able to get leads. Again, more business, more revenue. That's awesome.
And not
Now,
only that, it was interesting because we have a system in place, we were able to look that person up and figure out, where did that lead come from? How did they find us? And the way he's got our landing pages, it lets us know exactly where leads are coming from. So we are starting to know what marketing is working so that we can do more of it.
oh, of course, again, more revenue for the business. That's awesome. More ways to get leads. Very, very exciting. Now, Tisha, I know were there any, let's say, challenges or opportunities working with Cyberbacker?
Heck yeah.
Hmm.
A lot of it was me, right? So some of it was my cyberbacker did not necessarily have real estate specific
Hmm.
um, information. But what is so wonderful about my cyberbacker was his eagerness to learn. And I really was kind of concerned a little bit because he was, watching videos and doing research during times that were not necessarily his work time. I made it very, very clear to him that was not the expectation. But he was so eager to learn, and he was so eager to be successful that he wanted to put in that extra. And honestly, I can tell you that's the reason why I hired him. During his interview, he was just head and shoulders above everybody else as far as his eagerness, his willingness, and just wanting to learn. And one of the questions that I asked him was, what do you want from your family? What is it that you want from this experience? And I make sure that whenever we have a conversation that we're looping back to that. How is this helping your family? What can I do to help your family? And we're helping each other. And it's beautiful because it's bigger than us.
Yes, of course, treating each other like families. I think that is very important for this type of partnership to work. Of course, you have to be open, especially with the communication, right?
Absolutely.
Now, there are still a lot of people who aren't buying into the idea of having a cyberbacker,
Mhm,
leverage. What
mhm.
advice would you be able to give them for when they're hiring their own cyberbacker?
I mean, first of all, you have to be patient, right? And with everything, you have to build an infrastructure. And for a very long time, I mean, and I'm not trying to be funny, Neil and I struggled with our progress. However, I was self-reflective enough to take ownership of my part.
Mm-hmm.
And we put some systems in place for us to be able to communicate with each other. And what's interesting is, because of his attitude and his willingness to learn, there weren't really any barriers, right? For me, since he was my first hire, I had to learn how to be realistic about what like how fast we could go. And one of the things I think I'm pretty good at, because I'm a teacher in real estate
Mm-hmm.
outside of this, is being able to loop back and say, okay, what do you learn? And last month we got super busy. We had, more transactions than we ever had. And he got a little overwhelmed, a little flustered. But what was beautiful about what we did initially was creating the infrastructure. And so I could sit with him during the quiet time and say, remember, we created a process for this. And remember, we created a process for that. And remember, we created a process for this other thing. What we were able to do in that busy time was to integrate things that happened to be
Mm-hmm.
they seemed random until we were in the thick of it. And so we were able to talk about, okay, we did this, so that doesn't happen. Okay, we did that, so this doesn't happen. And remember, we created this process, roll with it. You've already got it done. So it took us a minute, like in building that infrastructure and learning how to integrate it.
Mm-hmm.
I can say one of the things that I was reluctant and resistant with was allowing him to get on the phone. And I was concerned that his accent might be a
Mm-hmm.
turnoff to some of my clients. And I can promise you that was unfounded. That concern was unfounded,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because everybody feels exactly for him the way I do. And his attitude is so
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. And he's so willing to make sure that our clients are happy. So what I thought was a barrier was my own. It wasn't reality.
So imagine having someone who is a go-getter, someone who is growth-minded, just like Neil. Am I right? He is growth-minded, right?
Absolutely is. In fact, we talked yesterday about the end of this week,
Mm-hmm.
we need to work on his growth plan so that we have a specific 12-month growth plan for
Wow,
him.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Growing together. Now,
Absolutely.
I know Neil will be listening to the episode once it's out there. Would you want to give him a quick shout out, Tisha?
Neil, you know how much I love you. I'm so happy to talk to you at the beginning of every day and the end of every day. And one of the things that he says to me
Mm-hmm.
when I get stressed, he says, don't worry. We got it. We got it. Don't worry. We'll take care of it. And he really kind of, when I get frazzled, um, he says, yeah, your energy's kind of off.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow or kind
Mm-hmm.
of what's going on. And he just reminds me on a daily basis that he is my team member, my business partner, and he is as invested in our team's success as I am.
There. That's why he's a business partner, right? Your cyberbacker, of course. Tisha, first off, we'd like to thank you for being on the show. And I hope this isn't the last time that we get to do this. Have a great day. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.